What is up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, and we're here for the last episode of the 2025 MLB season as we talk Chicago White Sox. Our last hope that we had was them not losing 100. Well, they did that yesterday against the Yankees. So we're here today to finish off the season, wrap it up, and we'll get you ready for 2026. There's been a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, and a lot of in between. So we're here to talk about it all. Let's get Deech in here, and then we're going to introduce our guests. So how you doing, Deech, and how do you feel that the season is winding down and we're down to 1 week left of baseball, right? Or it does Sunday, right? Is the last that game?
Yeah.
Sunday.
Well, I went to the last. I went last week. I went Friday and Sunday. So as I was walking out of the rate early on Sunday because I knew they were gonna fucking lose. I was like, all right, well that's it. So I mean, I've watched the Yankees series somewhat. Last night I turned it off pretty early because it just didn't look like it was going anywhere. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the off season.
Yeah. And I mean, the one game that they should have won against the Yankees where they had it and they blew it in the ninth, it was like, God damn it. It was like, come on now, you had it. And those are the games that make me the most mad still, because it's just like, it's like you have them. And we've had a lot of those, but we've also not had as many of those as we've had in the past. And, you know, what are we at? 58 and 100, I think, or whatever the heck it was. I remember us talking about, in the beginning of the season, when me, you, and Justin did the preview show, we were talking about wins, and I remember saying like high 60s would be like the best case, and I remember I think Justin said like low 50s or whatever. So the fact that they still have a chance to even win, like if they could pull out 2 wins in the next they play the Yankees today, and then they play 3 against the Padres,
the Nationals.
Is it the Nationals? See, Nationals ain't that great. Who knows? Maybe we go out and sweep them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, I mean, the fact that they could win 60-something games, that's still, as Corey said last week, that's a 19-game difference. I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, that's crazy. And that's just, so yeah. But we've had our guest waiting long enough. Let's have him come back on the channel. He's been here before. I don't know if it's been on the exact Southside Boys podcast, but he's been on the Southside Boys before. Let's welcome back to the channel. It's Footlong. How are you
guys?
Doing, bro? It's been a while.
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. It's been a while, but
how are you?
Life's going good.
I want to get your thoughts because we haven't really. I don't think you've been on this season. So how do you feel about all these guys, these young guys that have come up and played, and since what? When was like the first? When was like the first? I think Chase was the first guy, right? It was like
it's Chase and Caro, yeah.
That's right. So how do you feel about all these guys, and if they brought your White Sox fandom back? Because when you were on last year, wasn't a great time at all. We tried our best to be positive.
I think I was on the preseason last year, I want to say. It was my first time with you guys. I've been very positive over Twitter and other forms of social media and stuff, and I've gotten a little bit of backlash for it, but I see the vision happening here. And I've probably watched, I don't know, realistically probably half the games this year, just whenever I have a free night, like obviously turn it on. And I've been impressed with the progress that's been made from last year, that disaster, to what we've seen this year, where we've had guys like Shane step up, Colson, Teal, where there's a good shot you could walk into next year and you could have 2 all-stars that are young position players that we didn't even really consider last year, right? Colson obviously had his struggles down in the minor leagues. Teal wasn't even in the organization. Obviously came over in the Crochet trade. But then, and obviously Shane in the Rule 5 draft. But aside from those 2 guys, like Chase my draft's been better than I think we all expected. Even Edgar Caro has filled a nice little role there, kind of being the 1-2 punch with Teal at catcher. And then obviously I think the one place that we kind of, didn't see the step that we wanted to see was Luis Robert. But I think right before he got hurt there, was that in August, and he really started to come through. And I think we saw the guys around him in the clubhouse that were all new guys compared to the years before really kind of rejuvenated him. So overall, I'm actually in a pretty good spot with this team right now, and I'm super excited to see what happens in the winter and then just moving forward into 2026.
Even to be able to land Mike Vassell in the Rule 5 draft, I know everyone is saying how bad the bullpen is. I mean, imagine how fucked we'd be if we didn't have him. I mean,
Yep.
So
And even
they've added a lot of
Well,
guys that have just fit almost, it feels like.
oh, totally. No, it's been good. Yeah, even Grant Taylor too. I mean, we never thought, he'd be, what he is right now. Like he's posted like a 1.7 F4 as a reliever or something. I still expect him to be a starter long term, and I'm excited to kind of see that progression. Hopefully, they'll try to start to kind of progress him into that starter next year. I'm hoping, but who knows?
I think the biggest thing too, and I all want whoever watches this podcast, if anybody is still watching White Sox podcast out there, these guys are still young. They're all rookies. And I mean, I even talk about it like football or like the wrestlers that come up. Like it might take them like a little bit, but these guys are figuring out very quickly. And it just seems like they all like know how to play the game in certain ways that, at least for me, for a White Sox, but I haven't seen in a while. And that's what kind of scares me to the point where if they get a couple years underneath, they get an off season underneath them, they get a little muscle, like, how good can this team actually really be with what they actually are? And they haven't. We've seen some stretches where they played really good and they still played bad, but I mean, that's what's going to happen. I mean, again, we see it in other sports with other athletes, and, it's just one of those things that is just like, and obviously not all of them are going to hit, but if we can hit it on a couple, and so far it seems like everybody's working out. But I'm also that guy that tries to stay very optimistic because I don't like to get my excitement too high because I don't like to get let down and then disappointed. So I'm just happy that they're making progress, and that's been my biggest thing. So I just wanted to mention that about them because, I think people seem to forget that, like I said, all these guys, we literally had guys just coming up throughout the year. I think we've seen more I almost said Carlos Santos, Sergio Santos this year than ever. So, well, yeah. Deech, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no. So I mean, the past week they played the Padres and won one out of the three. The Yankees, I
Wait,
feel
they
like
won
they're gonna
against the
get swept.
Padres?
The Friday game.
Friday game.
Oh, that's right. The Friday Night Lights.
Friday?
The last Friday.
Yeah, or Saturday,
Yeah.
one of them.
That's right. It was the last Friday Night Light. Man, I will say that this year I really enjoyed that, and I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the uniforms, whatever the heck it was, but it seemed to give like that Friday night. I don't know. There was something about the Friday night games. It just felt different this year. It felt like a Friday game where, like, for a while, yes, they suck, whatever. But I mean, even like on Sundays when I watch football, like I get that Sunday feeling. Or like this Sunday, they're on at 8 a.m. because they're in freaking Australia or wherever the hell they're at, and that's been the best thing I think about the whole Friday night access and even like the broadcast and everything. It just feels like an actual like baseball broadcast for a while there. So, well, yeah, 1-3 against the Padres. I just got a lot to say, I guess. Just cut me off whenever you want. I don't care.
So then, I mean, do either of you there were a few bright spots. More, the Padres series honestly was a blur. I was at 2 of the games, and it's still somewhat of a blur. I mean, they won on Friday, so that was good. But,
I was drunk.
I
drove past
Colson's home run on, what was it? Game 1 against the Yankees.
That was last. No, it wasn't last. That was the first game.
Yeah. And then Shane, I mean, had a good outing, and
yep.
I mean, I tweeted the velocity was what was impressive with. I mean, the amount of innings he's thrown.
Another game. That man pitched his ass off, has 7-8 strikeouts, making this Yankees lineup look like fucking 12-year-olds, and we can't score any runs. It's like, what the fuck? And it's just like, and we still could have won if they didn't. It just, I don't know. Those games just pissed me off. And that's not the first time Shane's done that this year. Like, imagine if he had like two or three of those games that we could have won. We're still on the road to not lose at 100, and it just. We figure out this bullpen like you were talking about with Mike Vassell. Thank God for Mike Vassell. We get a couple more guys then, because we've seen the teams that are all really good. They have those guys in the bullpen where you go to that you don't have to worry about it.
Leisure. I've liked him lately.
Oh my God. He's traumatized me. Get him off. I don't know if I can.
I mean, like it or not.
They're not moving him though. That's the thing.
No, I mean, he's been masterful since the All-Star break. I mean, I'll give it to him. I was the biggest hater of Leisure, but
yeah. But other than that, you got Vassell. I still think they're going to keep Taylor in the bullpen at least to start the year, and then leisure, but I don't know how much you really go spend on bullpen arms.
No.
I'd
I
hate
talked about
to see
last.
them overpay for some like washed up veteran guy who it's like, oh, maybe he'll rejuvenate his career. I wanted Aroldis Chapman had he not signed an extension. I felt like that would have been quite the move for Getz in the offseason, but
They could have just traded with the Red Sox again. Or wait, no, he would have been a free agent. But I mean, and that's the type of guy that they need, is somebody like that can go out there and close these games out. That like get that Liam Hendricks feeling that when Liam was in his prime and he had those good ass games. Like we had the anniversary of us clinching the playoffs 4 years ago. Like I still remember what the hell I was doing that day and running and just being so excited. Times have changed. Good times.
On a positive note, we can move on to a little bit more in the farm system. The Birmingham Barons are now back-to-back champs, correct? That was the championship that they won?
Yes, sir.
From what I saw, yes, sir.
So,
Double
I
A.
mean, out of that, isn't Hagen Smith is still down there, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
he started last night and started in the game 3 of the Southern League semifinal or whatever it was. Obviously, had the 5 no-hit innings with the 10 strikeouts. Yesterday, he was still pretty good, all things considered. Did start to walk a lot of guys on the back half of the start that I wasn't in love with, but he's hitting, that 96, 97 mile an hour consistency, which we didn't really see in the start of the year. I heard he made some tweaks, to his delivery and everything, which probably has started to kick him on the upswing, but I think he's overhated right now, just with everything going on with Connor Griffin just absolutely bursting on the scene. Sorry, had to get that out of the way because it's starting to annoy me. So.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with a lot of these guys too. It's like even like Colston, like when Colston first came up, everybody was like, "Yeah, we want him up." But then, if whatever, it's like if he didn't have that good stretch, nobody was gonna like him. And if the fact that he has 19 home runs already is just insane. And he's been here since July 4th.
I also feel like with like this young group of guys, even if they struggle, a lot of them have like solid personalities where the previous core, it was very easy to start disliking players because you kind of just felt like none of them gave a shit half of the time. So
none of them did. And I think that's the thing too with all of these guys is like seeing how much they care and how much they put in the effort and how much especially Teal shows a lot of emotion when he doesn't throw somebody out or he doesn't and that's a lot of like what we haven't had in a while, and guys that just go out there and they at least care about what's happening on the field and not just going out there to wear chains and look their best and hope that they, whatever the hell. And I mean, we see where all those guys are now. And I mean, what was it yesterday? It was Eric Fetty. Oh yeah, it was Eric Fetty, Andrew Vaughn, and then there was somebody on. I forgot. Oh, I forgot who. I think they were playing the Rays, but there was somebody on the Rays. I was like, what is going on here? I was like, it's just a bunch of ex-White Sox players, and they're all going to the playoffs. What the fuck? So. I don't know, man. And it's so weird, though, because why do all these athletes get drafted by these teams and then they go to a different team and are better? Just like in football. Like Danny Dimes out here playing like he's a first-round draft pick over here in Indianapolis. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
So, kind of bumping off the Birmingham Barons thing, which 3 prospects, we'll start with Footlong and then Tino, you can go, for the which 3 prospects are you most excited for in 2026?
So my first one that I feel like doesn't get a lot of love is William Bergola. We got him in the Tanner Banks trade last July, whenever it was. Some pretty eye-popping stats under the hood. He had 26 strikeouts and 486 at-bats. That's almost unheard of nowadays. He had more stolen bases than he had strikeouts all year, and he played 120-something games. He's only 20 years old in Double-A. I was just looking at some other advanced numbers. 3 swinging strike percentage and 94% contact rate. So it's I'm not going to go to the extreme of Luis Arias, but there's something there that I think people aren't recognizing because I feel like he just doesn't get talked about enough. Another guy, Sam Antonacci, who we should see next year at some point. 155 weighted runs created plus across Winston-Salem and Birmingham this year. Very similar player to Chase Mydroth. Not a lot of power, good glove. I don't think he has the glove that Chase has, but hitting wise, you could probably say his hit tool is a little higher than Chase's. I like him in left field or third base next year. We'll kind of see how everything shakes out free agency, which we'll get into later. And then I have a tie for my I have 4 that I'm looking forward to. Jaden Fauske is another big one for me. Obviously, I don't know if he'll be playing affiliated ball. He might. But if not, then Christian Apor. We got him in the draft, I think, in 2023. 116 Ks over A and A+ ball this year. Great stuff. Probably another guy who you could see burst on the scene next year and become a top 100 prospect along with Caleb Bonnemer, who we saw take, a big step this year. And we can see him, even going to that top 50, 40, 30 threshold that a lot of people think he can get to. So those are kind of my guys.
Tino?
You talked about all those guys, and to be honest, thank God you did, because I did not know who any of them were, because I was just going to talk about the obvious ones. Because, I think the way it looks, we could very well be seeing Noah Schultz and Hagen Smith up here most likely by at least, I feel like, after the trade deadline at the latest, maybe. I feel like they're going to have the same type of call-ups as we saw with a couple of these guys later on in the season. And, again, it also just depends on who they bring back, and if Martin, I don't even know if they bring back Martin Perez, to be honest, but I know we talked about it a little bit, that he said he would if he's healthy or whatever. But also Braden Montgomery. I think he is one that, I don't know if he'll be here exactly by next year, but the way he's played and the way he did everything he did this year, I think it's going to be good to see. And especially if he can come in and play right field. We need a goddamn right fielder. I'm sick and tired of it. And it's nice to finally see a second baseman. I was thinking about it watching one of the games. I was like, dang. I think it was the one when Chase made that jumping catch or whatever. I was like, dang, it was nice to see a second baseman play. So those are the 3. And, we'll have to see exactly who all comes up. And to be honest, it's crazy to see how far these guys, come up through and they go through the system as fast as they do. Because wasn't Braden in what was he in AA? Or no. Well, he was in low A.
He was in low A, wasn't he?
Low A when he started, and now what? He's in AA, right? And then they said he should start the season in AAA. And again, he might not even be up next year, but I'm excited to see what these guys it gives a reason to watch again, but it's also good that we can watch these guys in the minors and still watch the major league team and feel like they're actually making progress. Because for a while there, we were watching the minor league team and didn't give a fuck about the major league team. So, well, yeah.
I think the Braden situation was a little different, just because he was hurt, and I think they were more rehabbing and ramping him up in Kannapolis. I think if he doesn't get hurt and there was the SEC playoffs at Texas A&M, he's probably in right field right now, if I'm being dead honest.
Yeah, because he said he was playing in the AFL league or the Arizona Fall.
Yeah, he's hurt now. I can't.
I think they said he'll be ready by then or something.
Will he be ready for it? Okay.
I think because that's what Connor was talking about on one of the broadcasts or whatever.
And that'll be big for him.
So I don't know.
That'll be big for him. And I think Hagen as well. Hagen and Schultz should be both. I don't know if Schultz is anymore with the injury, but I know Hagen's going there as well. So that'll be pretty fun to watch, I think, for us.
So then regarding the outfield, though, we're not assuming Braden Montgomery is going to debut opening day next year, are you?
No.
So
that's why
I was kind of leaning that way, but
I feel like
that he was not going to.
Well, yeah, I feel like if he's somebody, I feel like he'd be called up later on in the season or a September call up, maybe get a month under his belt, and then 2027 is when he's here on opening day. Just depending on what happens. I feel like, especially the way these guys all worked out. If they can continue this, I think we talked about it too a lot. Where it's they never had what's the word I'm looking for? Where they never had the the blueprint or whatever to like how do we do this or how do we do that, and it seems like they're actually like figuring out and knowing when these guys are actually ready and not just bringing them up just to bring them up to be like, let's have a debut. Because when they all come up, as I said, they're performing for the most part. And
I'd
again,
be
they're all
stunned
gonna struggle.
if Braden's not here, probably by the 4th of July.
There you go. Just 1 year anniversary. Let's do it. Do we play Colorado again too?
God, I don't know yet. All right, no, let's get this out. I have no idea.
Fuck the Rockies. You couldn't lose 122 games. God damn it. Oh well. We keep the record. Yay. Hate it. We also got to see our good buddy Gavin Sheets on this past weekend too. Freaking Gavin Sheets just shake it. And it wasn't Jose there too. Wasn't Abreu at one of the games?
Friday, yeah.
Friday, that's right. MVP Pito. Man, it's sad because he had so many good moments in his career. I was really hoping we could have done something with him. Oh well.
Anyway. So then, if Braden doesn't start, obviously in 2026 in the majors, do either of you do you both think Benintendi, Robert, and Tauchman would be the outfield they run out next year, or are they going to?
Well, how many more years do we have a Benintendi? 2?
2, I think, after this year.
I mean, in Tauchman, I don't know. Is Tauchman going to come back? Because didn't he say he was a free agent or something like that?
He's got another year of control, so they have him next year if they want.
I mean, then yeah. I mean, I would. I mean, especially the way it worked out this year. I mean, you don't want to break up like the group. Not even again like to like whatever, but like just seems like they're all getting along. They're all like working. They're all like having fun. They're all going out and doing things, and that's what you want. So then it all accumulates on the field. So right. I think it would be good to keep Tauchman, especially if he wants to stay here. Now, if he doesn't want to, then go and whatever you want to do. But sometimes I guess it's not all. I honestly probably be up to him. But who else?
It's up to Getz. It's really not up to anybody else.
Well, yeah,
it's not. I mean, he's under team control. So I'm going to say he's back just because I think he'll be the stopgap to Braden. He'll be fairly cheap. He was very productive this year. Worst case,
very productive
until Braden gets here. If he's hurt, you can probably see kind of like they did this year with kind of the what's the word, the musical chairs with a vet like Michael A. Taylor and Brooks Baldwin and guys like that.
Did you guys see Corey Lee play in left field this weekend or this series in New York?
Wasn't it just like an inning?
Was it an inning?
It was like an inning or two.
I don't know. It might have been, but I just saw the replay. I was like, this man really is playing left field now. Like, oh well, last week of the season, let's put anybody out there.
Anyway, back to my point. I think my hot take for the offseason is Benintendi's gone. I don't know how that'll be done. I don't know, really logistical situation, but I think they're going to seriously look to try to offload that money, not only from a financial standpoint, but again, you don't have anybody coming through the system that's going to assume that role right away, but he's a Han guy. I know that they've tried to move that money probably pretty much since Getz has taken over. This was his best year, and he was barely above average hitter. I think that if they can move him, they will, and I think this will be the winter they do it. That's my hot take. But there's also a legitimate shot that all three of them are back. If they do get a good offer for Luis, I think they could dish him. I think that's another thing that I've thought about.
Do they have to pick up his option prior to trading him, though?
Yes, they do. I don't think you can trade him without picking up the option, because otherwise it would just be the buyout, which would be $4 million. He becomes a free agent. So that's again like a lot of chess there and a lot of moving parts. But I think most likely in a realistic world they're probably all back. But deep down I do think probably one of the three will be gone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying on that, and I mean you could be very right on that, where they just find a suitor, and they take it. And I mean,
you guys
seems like
haven't been impressed with Will Robertson or who's the other?
no.
Oh, Dom Fletcher. Fletcher's has an arm on him.
I mean, that play he did in New York, that was great, but he kept bounced off the wall. That was fantastic. But I mean, I don't know.
Can't hit.
Yeah. Shit, Michael A. Taylor's hitting better than those two combined, and Michael A. I feel like has never been known for his hitting.
But they do need. I think they are going to have an issue soon here with all these guys coming up. Like I said, Bergola, he's a primary shortstop, second baseman as of right now. That's probably the strong suit of the team other than catcher with Chase and Colson there. He's going to have to find another position if he wants to stick in the big leagues. Antonacci could profile at third, most likely, but obviously Miguel Vargas is there right now. We could see Colson shift there long term. We have a lot of infield prospects. Even Ural Perez from the Vargas trade, he had 22 bombs or something in A+ balls, 20-year-old. So the infield equation does get a little more complicated if it isn't already with Sosa. Obviously, they're not great players, but Sosa, Meade, Vargas, kind of that whole shuffle there. Because really, you only have two locked-in spots, which are Colson and Chase, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I figure out which position to put Vargas in, and then, I mean, like you said, if they're smart, to be honest, maybe you sell high on Lenyn Sosa and see like if anybody, because
I've thought of that.
I don't know, like that would just be my thing too, where it's like if somebody wants him, and that's the thing. Like I think you're talking about bold predictions. I think you're absolutely right. I think we're gonna be sitting here on like winter meeting shit. And it's going to be like some big blockbuster deal that's going to like get people buzzing. And I think that would be exactly what's needed to like kind of be like, okay, like what do we got here? And I don't know if it's a bit Benintendi or Robert or whatever, but it very well could happen. And it would be interesting to see who it would be. But I think you're right on that. I think if there is one, it's going to be one of those three that are gone for out of the team next year, out of like all the guys that are here. I don't really see like a pitcher like being moved, and those three would make the most sense.
They have no pitching depth now.
Well, exactly.
No,
I said they have no pitching depth now.
I know that's exactly
right now they don't.
I'm saying at like the major league level.
Yeah. You're right.
Talent level is at this point, I'm almost hoping they go after two starting pitchers in free agency. I'm not expecting like them to spend crazy money on it, but I don't think Shane I would obviously have in the rotation. You'll probably slot Davis Martin in there, but Candon's been pretty brutal. Sean Burke, if you have to have a starter in all half your starts, that bothers me. I know some people are like, oh well, that's like how teams do it now, but then fucking be a bullpen arm is my opinion on that. So
to be honest, I don't disagree with you on that. I think they do need to go out and get pitching, and I don't think they need to spend too much money. But if you can get guys that can come in, like a Johnny Cueto's of the world or a Martin Perez that can stay healthy and pitch innings and make the game semi-competitive, we've seen what happens when this team scores runs. They score in bunches. I mean, you just need semi-decent pitching when you score 7-8 runs a game. So I think that's the biggest thing too, because the bullpen has been like the reason why we lost the Yankees game on Tuesday. And the walks are outrageous, especially from like the Frazier Ellards or the Ellards and Braden or Brian Iserts or Brandon.
Yeah, but to that point, they are going to face, and like I said with the infield situation, they're going to have to face another tough situation in the starting rotation. If you look at the 2026 kind of the shuffle with the rotation, you're going to have obviously Shane. You're going to have Davis Martin still around unless they trade him. I don't know how much value he has. I assume he's back. Yoendry Gomez, I thought he was pretty good in the starts he showed us. I would not be surprised if he tries to make carve out a spot in spring training next year. You're going to have Drew Thorpe back. Everyone forgets about him. Obviously coming off Tommy John. We'll see how that goes. Tanner McDougal. He was a guy that really shot up this year. He was in Winston, then he got to Birmingham, was really good with Birmingham. through, I think, 4, 5, 6 scoreless the other night in one of those championship games. He's going to be another guy that's probably going to force the issue. Schultz and Hagen. There's I forget what it was. There's 9 or 10 guys, barring injury, that could start. So I don't know if they're going to want to go spend 20, because pitchers are expensive nowadays. I don't know if they're going to want to spend 20, 25, 30 million on 2 arms. I think which they should probably try to stabilize with one guy. And I'll get to this because in the free agent stuff, but I think they're going to try to go get a guy that can bounce back. And if they can't get him to bounce back, then whatever, you're stuck with it. And then if you do get him to bounce back and you're not in the playoff race, flip him, go get something good. If not, and you're in the playoff race and you're going for a wild card spot or even better, the division, then you have a number 2 or number 3 starter. They, again, like with Hauser and different guys, even, like it or not, like Fetty, Shane, they have a tendency to know where to get pitching. I'm not worried about it, but they're going to have a lot of guys in the equation where I don't know if they go crazy on pitching this winter.
Yeah, and I think you're right about the competition. There's going to be a lot of guys that are – it's going to depend on what they do in spring training, and you're going to have to earn the spot. And I think that's exactly the way you got to do it. If it is a free agent guy, if it is somebody like that, if it's Noah, if it's Hagen, whatever, just go out there and pitch and show them what you can do, and you'll be on the opening day roster. You'll be up here sooner rather than later.
Right.
So, I think that's –
So then what free agent pitcher would you go after? We'll get into. We'll just start the whole. Okay, your ideal offseason if you're Chris Getz, and I mean, obviously you're gonna name the pitcher, whatever, a few options, but we'll let you go. Then Tino, you can go, and then I'll throw mine out there.
So, this is an interesting one. I like the fit of Zach Gallen on a 1-year prove-it deal. Was an ace in Arizona. Has some familiarity with Barfield, I believe. Timelines do line up there. Yep. He was, again, he was a former ace, had a struggle. He struggled this year. That could be a guy that Cats managed to look at and go, all right, we can turn this guy back into an ace. He probably, looking at his stats this year and all the advanced numbers, he really wasn't good in any regard. I think you could probably hand him 12 to 15 million on a 1-year deal, give him an option, and say, go prove it. And if you like him and he sticks, great. Then he could be your number 2 or even, in a perfect world, an ace. If not, then, you gave 12 million for a guy that can take innings, and then you have Schultz or Hagen come in midway through the season, take a spot. Again, Zach Eflin on the cheaper side, another guy that was very good when he was in Tampa, got to Baltimore and was terrible. I do think we need some relievers. I know that Deech kind of spoke against that, but we need some stabilization. Obviously, the only proven guy that I'm he's going to take the ball when we need him and keep us in the game as a reliever or keep the lead or whatever we need is probably Jordan Leisure right now. And that's if I would have told you if that was my answer. Exactly. If that was my I remember me and Deech were at a game. And Leisure came, we were the Texas game. We're gonna sweep. Damien was with us. I see he's in the chat, and it was Deech is yelling at Leisure, and I was like, we all knew the game we were gonna lose, and what do you know, we lose. And so that's the development I'm talking about, where the only guy I can give the ball to right now and feel confident that we're gonna keep the lead or keep the tie or whatever it is Leisure and probably Mike Vassell. So I need a little stabilization, especially lefty-wise, because, right, the Yankees game the other night, perfect example. I think we win, was it Gilbert in the 5th? Yeah. Gilbert in the 6th? I can't remember. And then it was Taylor and Leisure 7 and 8. And then we got to the 9th where we had
Brandon Isert.
I forget it. Well, yeah.
So we had Isert and Wilson were in the bullpen at the time.
Yep. So I think we had 2 lefties at the bottom of the Yankees order. I don't remember who it was. And then that's when Isert threw that ball to the backstop, and that was the end of the game, pretty much. But I remember looking, and it was Bellinger came up. I think he was the leadoff hitter, or he was hitting behind Judge or in front of Judge. And I saw his splits were was like 1,100 OPS against lefties that year. And Will decides to keep Iserton, who was already struggling, walk 2 guys. Like, he needs a lefty he can trust. Because I think, again, because we saw that game fully blown, because, yeah, it was the 2 lefties at the bottom of the order, but then it got to Bellinger, and then we decided to air one to the backstop. I know I didn't really make a whole lot of sense. I just hate Brandon Iser. I need to bring that up. But I think, yeah, we need to try to find a lefty somewhere that can stabilize the rotation. Or let's stabilize the bullpen, sorry. Are we going into full off season right now?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
My guy that I've kind of been harping on is, well, one guy that I just talked about is Cody Bellinger. If he declines the option, I like that fit a lot. I've tweeted about it. I've talked about it a lot. That's more of a pipe dream if we really open the budget. But realistically, I think this guy fits really well. Ryan Fuller has a lot of experience with him, and he really kind of revitalized his career, and that's Ryan O'Hearn.
Why did I know that that's exactly what you were saying?
Yeah, I think that would be, you probably hand him between 18 and 20 mil for 2 to 3 years. It's not any long-term commitment. You take a risk on a guy that he's older. He's on the older side, so I think you stay in that 2-year range, maybe with an option. And now you got somebody that can match the middle of the order with Colson and Teal and kind of take the pressure off some of those guys. Because if they don't spend any money, just looking right now, like, there's so much pressure on Teal, Colson, Braden Montgomery when he gets there, Edgar Caro, to hit and produce. And they're going to be not even 162 games into their careers, right? And I think we're kind of seeing that right now, where those guys are tiring out. They're kind of hitting a wall, and there's no one else to support them. Like, who? Corey Jolks, Dominic Fletcher? Like, there's nobody there to support them, especially with Luis out, with Benintendi out. So I think O'Hearn would be the perfect fit, just realistically what we're looking for and kind of how we want to go moving forward. Sorry, I talked a lot there, but I did have a lot of thoughts for that.
I mean, you're right on that, though, because I agree with you on the Ryan O'Hearn front. I think he's a perfect fit, and he's such a White Sox guy, and we need somebody. I talked about it last week. We need somebody that can come into this lineup where we have the bases loaded and get all the guys. I know we've had moments this year, a lot more than we've had last seasons in the past, but we still have a lot of the moments where we got men on third or second and third, 1 out, and we can't get that fly ball or no outs, and that's exactly what the Ryan O'Hearns of the world would do, and it would just make it so much easier to do. Where and I think those are the type of guys that the Sox are going to get, is like you said, like the $10-20 million guys, because they're not going to want to go out and spend, especially if all these guys do, like especially the pitchers. Because, I mean, and if we could save the money from pitchers to go get some hitters, that would work. Because, yeah. Let's just go get huh?
Sorry, go ahead, Tino.
No, go ahead. What are you going to say?
I'll say on record right now, I don't believe the White Sox Dave reports of them only spending $10 million after the Robert option or whatever that is. That is the opposite of I do know some people. That is the opposite of everything I've ever heard. I do see that that's possible just because that's how we operate sometimes. But I will be on record, and I hate it if I ate it on this, but I don't think it's going to be 10 million or whatever it was after the Robert option. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I would hope
and
not.
You're talking about bullpen arms. We need somebody like the Yimmy Garcias of the world. Those guys that we can come in and that can actually pitch. And
who's Garcia?
Wasn't he on was it Blue Jays? Right? I don't know. I'm just looking at the free agent really.
Oh, Yimmy Garcia?
Yimmy Garcia. Oh,
Yimmy.
Okay.
My dumbass. Sorry.
Sure.
Yimmy. I don't know how to pronounce names. Listen, I'm sorry. This is why you're in control.
I was going to ask, though, who is a lefty relief pitcher that you would go after, though? Is there really?
Let's go get Aaron Bummer back.
I was looking earlier, and I was just preparing some stuff. Tyler Rogers is available. He had a really good year, I'm pretty sure, this past year. Doesn't throw very hard, but he does have some familiarity with Bannister. I'm pulling it up right now.
Is that the one who has the crazy ass wind up and shit?
That's the guy. That's the
delivery?
submariner that the Cubs traded for.
Okay.
Taylor. That's his brother.
Brad. Oh no, we do not want Brad Keller again.
He's been decent. Matt
Has he really?
Strom is a little expensive.
No, you know what it is though.
He's
Is these
been-
guys are great, but then we're gonna get all of them, and then they're gonna forget how to pitch and hit, like they all.
Gregory
fucking-
Soto throws gas. Chafin is pretty good. Like there's a
Eric
lot. There actually is a lot of options. I'll.
We're gonna have mustache night where they just give out mustaches or beards or some shit.
I just see way
there
too
is
many
actually a lot of
people
options.
going to like, what is it? Kenley Jansen's a free agent.
Yeah.
That's just like one guy where it's like, if that's what they're spending the most money on in the bullpen, I just am not confident in that. Some of the other guys you named are more intriguing, in my opinion.
Right. No, I agree. A guy I also like, if we're looking to spend a little bit of money, is Luke Weaver from the Yankees. I don't know if the Yankees are planning on retaining him. He'd probably be a little more on the expensive side, but I think he'd stabilize the bullpen and lock it down a little bit for us because he's had some really productive seasons in the last couple of years. So I like that fit as well.
We need a stability, man, and that's the thing. I feel like, and again, I don't want to start it, but you were talking about, like, I think if we find a couple, we find the right pieces, we very well could be competing for the wild card for at least, I'm not going to say all season and be like whatever, but I think that they can compete for a while. And we've already seen it this year that they're competing with these teams, and like we're beating the Phillies and stuff like that, almost beating the Yankees, the Dodgers, the freaking, So he said Tim Hill. Tim Hill has actually been doing very well on the Yankees since we traded him.
Sorry. Who's the guy above Tim Hill that Damian said? Like, sorry.
Oh, Derek Chafin? Damon, who is that, bro? I don't know who that is. Are you talking about? Wait, what? What did I miss? Is that Andrew's brother?
No.
I'm an idiot.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Anyway. Back on track. Next topic, Deech.
No, I was just gonna say maybe this will be the offseason the White Sox acquire my boy Gleyber Torres.
Oh my God! Just keep putting it out there till it happens. Just manifest it. You've been talking about this for 5 years now.
I don't think he's gonna get. Do you think he'll get paid a crazy amount?
Probably not.
Corey, like full on.
What did you say?
I said, do you think Gleyber Torres is gonna get paid a decent amount, or do you think that's? I feel like he's not like in a high enough tier where he's like completely out of the question. I get that would jam the infield quite a bit, but
sorry.
You okay over there, bro? Are you dying?
Yeah. I do think Gleyber he could get a lot of money, but again, he's kind of like a guy like Sosa to me, where there's not a whole lot of there's not a lot of ceiling with him. It's just a lot of bat, right? He's got power. He's got a lot of tools, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't done the research on him. I know he's having a good year in Detroit, but who knows? Again, those power second basemen are very what's the word I'm looking for?
streaky,
Kind of streaky,
or
kinda,
inconsistent.
Inconsistent, kind of just I'm trying to think like where, for lack of a better term, like kind of like a one-man trade, right? Like they can hit for power, but they strike out a whole hell of a lot. It's just, again, he reminds me a lot of Sosa. I like the fit originally, looking back when we didn't really know about Chase, but his fielding's terrible. It just doesn't seem like a guts guy to me. I don't know where he goes, but we'll see.
We just need some guys that can knock in fucking RBIs. I mean,
Right.
that's when I look up
Totally.
and down the lineup. It's that was my biggest thing with Robert. Robert's best year, he had what, 30 home runs and 80 RBIs or whatever.
Well, I thought Colson did a hell of a job after he came up to knock.
Well,
like,
that's the only one though. I just feel like
right.
who else? I mean, who is leading the team in RBIs right now? Is it Colson?
It's probably damn near. I don't know who it is. It's probably Benintendi or I don't know honestly.
I'll find out.
Off the top of my head, but
Let's figure it out. You said RBIs?
yeah.
Lenine Sosa. 72.
Is it Sosa? Wow.
He has 70?
72, and Miguel Vargas is second with 57. Or I'm sorry, Benintendi is 62 or 63. Yeah. And then it goes Vargas, Robert, and then it goes all the way, and then Colston. And Colston is 50. And he's been here since July. I think that's what's the most mind-boggling to me. I mean, the fact that this guy's been here for 2.5 months and has 50 RBIs. Imagine what he can do April, May, June. Especially May and June. When it starts to get really warm. I don't know. I'm interested to see what all 162 looks like for him.
The only other thing I wanted to kind of get to is, do you think the whole coaching staff returns, or are they getting rid of some of them? I can't foresee them getting rid of Ethan Katz.
They're never going to get rid of that guy. He's going to be the new Don Cooper. He's going to be here forever now.
Katz will stay. I think Tim's will stay. I do, honestly. I know there's somebody in the chat that doesn't really like Marcus Timms very much, but anyway, I think he stays. I heard some rumblings that he wouldn't. I forget, but I think something gets said that really made me think different. I think he stays at least another year, and I think the offense since the break has been fantastic. Like, again, hitting coaches. Again, it's not like an offense coordinator in football where they're the end all be all of your offense. Like, there's so many different things that go into it, and I think Ryan Fuller has a good read on. I think Getz has a good read on. So I kind of trust whatever they do, but I'm going to go with no right now.
That's where I'm leaning. At this point, I feel like you can't all of a sudden start changing everything up when it seems to be where. And now, if the offense was terrible in the second half as it was in the first half, the'd be a reason to get.
Leave him in DC. Leave him at the White House.
I just don't understand that. How can you hate that man so much?
I think
no one hates Marcus Timms more than Damian. Like
the question is, who does Damian like?
Damian. He likes anyone who hits Cleveland pitching.
Oh, okay.
Anybody who hits Cleveland pitching. Anybody. Doesn't matter. We can't hit Cleveland pitching. He's saying bringing up MF. I think he's talking to me.
You bring it out. You see that?
So,
Damian, don't make us kick you out of the chat, bro. Can't be using language, bro. I got no shame. I'll kick you out. Deuces.
So, I mean, I agree. Anyone else had to say before we wrap it up?
You didn't ask me what I thought about the coaching staff.
Well, do you think they're going to bring them back or no?
Yeah, I do think they're all going to come back. And as you said, I mean, the way it's working, if it wasn't working in the second half, I think it would be a good time. And depending on what happens, again, we just don't seem to play great in April. It's just Chicago White Sox baseball and bullshit, you know. But I think that bringing everybody back and just seeing how it goes, and, you know, I think they are doing something here, and they're all enjoying it, and they all talk about it, and they all just, like, especially when they do these interviews on the White Sox podcast and everything else like that, it's really interesting. I would love to see what this team can do with like, you know, like an off season and come back for a couple months together and see if they could start off hot, because if they could start off good or even like 500, I mean, who knows what could happen. And I mean, we see it happen. Look at what has happened to the AL Central up July, whatever the hell it was. The Tigers had a 14-game lead and now they're down by a game. It's like the 2005 season, except the Guardians actually caught the team that was in first. So, I mean, that's the thing. You just really never know. And, I mean, if team gets hot, because now the Tigers are limping into the playoffs. If they make it, they might not make it now, I don't think. So,
I will say the Tigers' downfall and some of the tweets I've seen, just like shitting on AJ Hinch and being like, and you fuckers are all pissed that we hired Tony over this idiot.
Oh, I know, because my friend at the time really wanted AJ. He was like, if we're getting a coach, I want AJ. And, I mean, that's just the thing. You never know what happens. And, I mean, it's crazy. 4 games of baseball left, though. I just cannot believe this season's over. I mean, I remember opening day like it was yesterday. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy how fast these seasons go by. And hopefully we'll be playing October baseball very soon.
That would be nice, right?
I think we're headed in the right direction. And Deech, maybe, just maybe we can do a Southside Boys podcast and preview some games in October eventually. We haven't since we started the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
So then, they got the 3 games left after tonight where they're going to get swept, I'm assuming. Do you think they win any of the games in Washington or no?
2 out of 3.
I think they'll take 2 out of 3. Washington's a bad team. Like they've hit a rough patch right here, but they've played the Padres and the Yankees, 2 teams that can easily win their respective leagues. I mean, at the end of the day, and they're banged up right now. Like the whole outfield's out, like we kind of talked about earlier. I think 2 out of 3 ended on a high note. I mean, even a sweep would be really nice.
Let's end it like the Bears did their season last year.
Right. And at the end of the day, it was the best season. And I know it sounds really sad, but this was the most optimistic season and the most exciting season of White Sox baseball, obviously since 2021. And before that, I don't even know when. So,
2008.
I'm excited. Probably.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited for the future.
Sox.
Yep. I think we're almost there to the point where it's going to be in and out every year. We're going to be in the race because I think, again, people are going to call me too optimistic. I know Deech's in the same boat I am, especially recently. But I think that Getz has a good head on his shoulders. I think the people around him really know what they're doing. He's hired, a fantastic pitching advisor, pitching kind of lead in Brian Bannister and a great hitting lead in Ryan Fuller. And I too believe wholeheartedly that this thing's going to get turned around. And I think 2026 is going to be such a fun year on so many levels. Minor leagues, major leagues, at the park, just everywhere. So I'm really excited for the future.
Bold prediction right now. We've gained, as of right this second, we have 18 more wins than next year. Hypothetically, they win 60, let's say. How many more wins do you think that they can have? Do you think they could double that again and win 19 more and have like 70, 80 wins next year, possibly?
I say if you don't win, and win anything under 70 is a failure. I think 75 is realistic. I think you can shoot for 80. That's a lot of things have to go right. You're going to have to see Teal, Chase, Colson take, those steps that we expect them to. They stay healthy. Chase, I didn't bring up Chase. I don't even know if I did. Shane Smith, obviously, continuing what he built off this year, which I think him and Vargas are my 2 guys next year really pop off. Just with, a whole year rest, a whole year of development, just in the winter and whatnot. I think those are the 2 guys that are really going to pop off next year for us. And just building on what we built this year, I think there's a shot they can get to 80 wins. That's my goal. That's my personal goal.
Yeah, and even Vargas having a full off season to continue developing his swing more than he already has, because again he only did that and he started using that swing this year, and it'd just be really interesting. Obviously, injuries have happened and everything, and that might be part of the reason why they're struggling is they're not used to playing all this and that. But I mean, as they get stronger and hopefully the off season they take it all legit and they all come out. I mean, shit, who knows? Next year, by next year, we might see a guy that looks 10 times different.
Right.
I mean,
we got to be able to hit Cleveland.
Yeah.
We got to be able to hit Cleveland.
Hit Cleveland. The Guardians. And get that's my prediction. Get Jose Ramirez off the Guardians. Send him to Seattle with Josh Naylor. I don't care. Just get him off Cleveland. Cleveland, though, winning the division for the first time. Just in other MLB news real quick, shall be interesting. And since this is the last episode, I want to hear you guys' World Series picks for as of right this second, if you were to pick the World Series.
Do you want me to go first, or you?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go first. I don't really have anything. Really, I haven't even thought about it, to be honest. But off the top of my head, I'm gonna go. Believe it or not, I'm gonna go. I think the Yankees go back. I think they go back to the World Series this year. And I think, who in the National League do I like? Milwaukee, I just don't think we'll do it in the playoffs. I'm gonna go Phillies, Yankees. Yankees win in 6. That's just a raw prediction. I think the Yankees have a lot. They left a lot on the table last year. Playing that Dodgers team was good. That's really good.
These fudge packers out here in Wisconsin think the Brewers are going to the World Series. I swear to God. There was a guy yesterday. I went to a bar and grill, and he's sitting there watching baseball, and he's like, I don't watch baseball, but this is the coolest thing in the world. And the guy literally hits a fly ball. I'm like, what is going on?
Hey, Cubs fan at Wrigley.
I'm like, I can't. I'm like, listen, and I get shit because I wear my Sox hat everywhere, and I don't really care. Lose 130 games, I'll still wear my White Sox hat. Fuck y'all. But man, these Brewer fans thinks that they're going everywhere, and I think they'll have a decent run. But yeah, I don't know. I agree with you.
I like that.
Off the top of my head with the World Series, and obviously it could a lot change in 4 days. I think Phillies Yankees would be a good one.
I like the Brewers, but it's
fun to see. I always like to
Seattle
that don't usually make it. Like that Diamondbacks Texas World Series was kind of fun because you didn't know who the hell was going to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
Seattle, when we played them, what was that? Right after the All-Star break, I forget when that was. Like that, that's a loaded team. They got Kirby, Gilbert, Brian Wu, and then their lineup is, obviously if Naylor. I want to say Naylor hasn't been, or it's either one of Naylor or Suarez has been terrible since getting there.
Suarez.
If they get those two going, Julio obviously is a stud. Like Cal Raleigh, hard to. Yeah, exactly. Like that team's loaded too. But again, I think the Yankees have the experience. Fried, Los, and I don't know who their third guy would be. Garrett wasn't healthy. I have no idea. But they have experience. They have the bullpen, and I think the Phillies are far and away my NL favorite right now. They're kind of the same way. They're just loaded up with experience and talent. So that's my pick.
Sorry to all my dog inside shoes outside. I forgot her. Oops. Sorry, no.
So I agree it'll be the Phillies, but I'm going to say the Red Sox.
Wow.
Okay, is that because
without Roman Anthony?
Yeah. I think they're just going to get hot.
Man, are we really going to see another player, a former White Sox player, win a World Series on the Red Sox again?
I solely watch the Red Sox during Garrett Crochet starts. I don't know that. I know we got such a good return where he's just electric, and he's kind of come out of his shell. I feel like since he's gone over there.
They're fun to watch. I like them a lot. Like they're probably my second favorite team to watch in all of baseball. I think they're super young, and when it gets again, I'm a hockey guy, so what I think of like the NHL, it's you look at experience that always wins, and I think the same goes along with baseball. I think that there's experience always wins, so I think the Red Sox are 2 years away from being the AL version of the Dodgers. I think they're so loaded up, they have so much young talent. It's just they don't have Marcel Meyer, they don't have Roman Anthony. They're two young studs. But I love the Red Sox, though, and I love what they're building over there.
That'd be a fun World Series, Red Sox, Phillies. That's kind of how I feel if the White Sox aren't in it. Let's just see something interesting and see. I love the Game 7. Because the playoffs, too, also start next Tuesday, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I think they take, 1 or 2 days off, right? After Sunday? Something like that.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Shall be interesting.
But wild card.
You got any last thoughts here before we say goodbye until 2026, guys?
I don't. Thanks again for having me on, guys. I enjoyed it, and talking ball with you guys is always fun. So
I appreciate you coming and hanging out and chatting with us and filling in for Justin and all of that.
We'll be back before we know it. I know, again, the offseason
like a
flies
snap
by,
of the face.
so.
Bro, I mean, the fact we're in week 4 of football already is disgusting. I feel like I just watched the Eagles and Cowboys. I think it just, I don't know. It just goes by so fast now. It's crazy. But if we do have any crazy things happen, Deech, we will may have an emergency podcast if the White Sox do trade a Luis Robert or do all of the shenanigans. So make sure you keep an eye out for all of the stuff that goes on in the offseason. Let's hope it's a good series against the Nationals. Sox game does start in 10 minutes. Last game against New York. Well, Deech, I guess I will talk to you later, and we will see you guys all next year in 2026 for another season of the Southside Boys. Go make sure you follow all the social medias on all of the platforms, X, Twitter, Instagram, all of them, wherever you follow all your social medias. Footlong, if you want to let them know where they can go find you, if they want to keep up with you and all of your stuff. And
Yep, I'm pretty active on Sox Twitter. Footlong Comiskey Dog. I'm sure. Trust me, I get around and I get in my arguments, so you guys have probably seen me around. So I'll be standing on there, interact with you guys, and again, if you guys ever want to interact, just my DMs are always open. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Know where to find you. See, I appreciate it.
Sir.
But Deech, anything you got to say to them? Anybody before you go? Before we say goodbye?
No, it's hibernation time. Let everyone kind of argue themselves into submission or whatever for a month or two, and then winter meetings and stuff will come, and I'll peak up a little bit then, I guess. But I'm just tired of fucking negativity. This year was a success. I was super anti-Gets, was not a fan of this whole dragging this shit out, but they made enough of an improvement this year where you're like, okay, I can buy into this. So win 2 more games, get 60 wins, and that is what it is.
And the big thing I'll be watching off season is the draft lottery for Papa Roach, Rock Chalowski. So
I think we do have the best odds right now at the first season.
We do.
So we'll have to see.
We do.
But guys, until 2026, we'll see you then.